the Shire. Turn your porch lights off because we're coming home with a trophy.
Hey there, welcome to SharkCast Pod, a podcast dedicated to the greatest sporting club in the history of the world, the mighty Cronulla Sharks. Not so mighty tonight, unfortunately. Sharks losing 26 points to 6 against the Panthers in Bathurst. This show is brought to you by Dyson Logistics, the Royal Motor Yacht Club Import Hacking, and Jason Hawes at Cripps and Cripps Real Estate. And we send our love and respect to those people. And everyone watching and listening, I know you're going to be disappointed. I'm disappointed too. A lot to get into with what we just saw up in Bathurst. Sharks losing 26 points to 6. Happy to talk about it all. Let's keep it above board. Let's keep it respectful, but of course, say anything you want above and beyond that, of course. So there are a few things you can do to get in touch with us. You can leave a comment where you're watching and it'll pop up and we'll talk about it. If you want to dial in, it's quite easy. Hit the StreamYard link and follow the kind of prompts there. You can go camera or no camera, it's up to you. If you don't feel like it, it's totally cool. I'm happy just to talk. But Sharks lose 26 points to 6. Already some messages coming through. Really appreciate it. All right. Now, who's this we got? That's Ash. How you going, Ash?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Sorry, give me 1 second. Just heading outside
You're right,
to
brother.
talk as mum's in bed. But
Oh,
that's
bless
all right.
her.
She's got a work tomorrow, essential worker, Woolworths, so shout out to her. But,
Absolutely.
Look, didn't see much of the game as I was at the other Sharks, Sutherland Sharks soccer, New South Wales NPL, which they got up. So
Beautiful.
That's a happy for me. But caught the back end of the game, which was at the game, so I watched the highlights tomorrow. But from what I've heard, didn't seem like the best performance. Of course, haven't seen much, but caught the back end and
All right.
yeah, just a difficult day at the office. But for those contemplating,
You're right.
a long day.
Contemplating,
yep, that we can't beat the big sides. Look, as I said, it's round 2. Premierships are not won in March. Still a long way to go. Way to go. Like I said, I know we haven't beaten Penrith since 2019. And look, respect to Penrith. They are 4-time premiers, even though they missed out on the grand final last year. But still a long way to go. We will be back. Fitzy knows what he's doing. Like, it was just one of those days, of course. Like, you can't beat everyone on the day. Like, Penrith were up for it tonight, even though we weren't up for it. Like, well, that's all right. Like, as I said, we can't win them all, but we'll beat the Dolphins next week. It's all good. Not all is lost. It's not the end of the world.
No, it's not, Ash. It's not. Why don't you do me a favor? When you watch the game tomorrow, send me an email or something and let me know some more thoughts after you watch the whole game, because some of what you say is completely accurate. Some's a little bit, I completely agree with what you're saying. It's not the end of the world, but hit me up with an email. Let me know what you thought of the game when you get time to watch the whole thing.
Yeah, of course, mate. No, I just wanted to come on, of course, and have a chat. But no,
I appreciate it.
Always good to speak to you, Sam. And
Thank you, sir.
A fantastic evening.
Thank you, Sam. Sir. Thank you. Go to the Suburb Sharks.
Go Suburb. Bye.
Bye. All right, that's Ash. Always lovely to have him on. Now, Daniel says, really bad Ramian game tonight, along with Hines, who was very quiet. I'll agree with you on the first bit. I thought Jesse was way off. I thought also Iro, who I love and adore, wasn't in that category, but I thought some defensive reads from both of them tonight were a little bit questionable. Speaking of questionable, Daniel says a couple of questionable calls for the first 2 tries. We need to be perfect to win. So on that, there were some really dodgy calls early on, but you can't let that define your game. And there was, I think, what was it? It was 12-0. And then right before half time, one-on-one strip from Billy Burns. Something happened and the ball went to the ground and no one jumped on it and they scored. There were just little moments. The 40-20 kick, of course, from Cleary. It's hard to stop, but just those little moments were always going to define us. But there were some weird calls, absolutely. But I don't think it changed. I don't think it changed the complex of the entire game. But I'm with you there. Bo says, is that the second game against the Panthers where Katoa was our best player? I'm not sure if he was our best player, Bo. I thought he was decent, always put in a lot of heart. But if that's the case, then for you, then that would be the answer. Absolutely. JMF says, tough to watch after the highs of the last week, pondering what positives we can build on for next week. So, yeah, that's a great point. Definitely tough to watch after last week and a bit of a reality check. The positives, I think, are there. And you saw it in the opening 10 minutes where we dominated them completely. We ran down the middle. We defended well. It was back and forth. We were going neck and neck. And then they got the 40-20. And that was kind of where it started. And just little errors. We did not respect the ball tonight. We completed at 76%. They were at 88%. And that was a major difference. You can't do that against the Panthers. The other thing is once we got behind, we went into our shell. And that's where the stranglehold starts. That's what they love to do. So I think it's more about when we play Penrith again, how do we beat them? I think tonight in general, it was all about Penrith. You know, I think next week against the Dolphins, we should be fine. We'll bounce back to our thing. Against Penrith, there's something there stopping us. And in Vegas a year ago, we went close, but this time around, not so much after 10 to 15 minutes. G'day to Damo. He said, what's doing with Ramian? Fitzy can't be serious with his auto pick every week. Well, to be fair, Damien, or Damo, to be fair, last week was Ramian was one of our best. So I can't fault the coach there, but he was way off tonight. Way off. Damo, and he also says that Michael Gabriel needs to be in the side immediately. Well, we'll see what happens. He was on the report at the end of the game, so we'll see what happens there. Hello to my friend Jono who's watching. Appreciate you, brother. Jay says it's frustrating that the prelim final in 24, Vegas and tonight, we get burnt by 40-20 in the first 10 minutes from the Panthers. Yeah, it's something we need to address, the 40-20, that's for sure, against Penrith, because it just changed. And then they dropped their bundle, made some errors. You should be able to either defend the 40-20, or if you can't defend it, if you concede it, shrug it off and move on. Penrith are really good. Tonight we're off. It sucks. There's positives and negatives. There are positives there. I saw enough, but yeah, they look like they put everything they had into the first 10, 15 minutes, and then it kind of went pear-shaped. Jay said, I thought Stone Street played well and tried hard all night. I completely agree with that. Friend Smitty says Tall Tom was bad handling-wise. Yeah, he was. That was pretty evident. Jay notes probably what I think was the biggest thing of the night is that Hohepa Puru came on as 17th man instead of ULA. And he thought he did some good things when he came on, even though he had the mistake. Completely agree. Overall disappointed because we do things in moments that are silly, which seem to keep happening with the same players. Hello to our friend Cam. Damo says, until we beat the Panthers convincingly, we'll never be looked at as a threat in the competition. I mean, I completely understand that. I think that's a bit of a stretch in that I don't think it'll take that, but obviously to beat them would be fantastic. But I see where you're coming from. Hines a bit quiet in the first half in attack. Joel says, hope Michael Gabriel gets given a go even if it's for 1 week. Fair enough. It might come down to that. Hello to Dana, who was up there. She's up in near her hometown. So hello to you and the fella. And that's what's going on over the Insta. So Sharks lose 26 points to 6. Again, 76% completion rate. It's not going to do it in a lot of games, and it certainly won't do it against the Panthers. I felt like even though the offloads are pretty even, they were doing them at will in the second half, and that was not a help at all. Other stats I'm looking at, they're not horrible, like 26 missed tackles. We did get 10 restarts to 4. There were 14 restarts. Yeah, not a great night. Blake says, Ashley Klein, enough said. Here's one from Future Dude. The club needs to reimburse the cost for tickets, accommodation, travel following that performance. Absolutely disgraceful from this team. Yeah, I'm sorry that you had all that happen. I didn't think it was disgraceful personally, but that's just my opinion. I wasn't there. If I was there, maybe I'd think it was disgraceful. I thought the opening stanza was pretty good. I thought they never gave up, but there was a lot of silliness out there, and they need to improve on that pretty quick. Phil says Klein never gives us a go. My big brother, who I was hanging out with, said no direction, no imagination, outplayed and outclassed. And then he's getting a bit cheeky, saying, I hope Ramian got a free coffee. It looked like Jesse had some things on his mind, that's for sure. Before I forget, I want to say a big shout out. So we're going to forget football for 1 second. A big shout out to our friend Mel and her lesser half, Tony, doing it super tough the last little while. And some sickness there. But we wish Mel all the best and hope she's completely on the mend, completely better as soon as she can be. But we send our love and respect to you. And hopefully Tony didn't swear too much to get you thrown out of the complex that you're in. But sending our love to those guys. Troy says, Jesse C had a strong game. And I completely agree. I thought he was fantastic. And let's look at his meters and that kind of stuff while I got Jesse Colhoun. Yeah, he ran for 120 meters from 15 runs. Fox have him at 40 tackles and no misses, so that's pretty good. That's really good. And I thought he was dominant, absolutely. And I thought the opening and even the end, we were sort of on our way to doing things, but it was too late. Lewis says, Penrith got the rub of the green. That happens. We need to deal with it. Klein isn't going away. Some tenacity from us in that first 35. Yep, you see it as usual, Lewis. Pretty spot on. I agree with all that. They did get the rub of the green tonight. It does happen, and the Sharks needed to be better at it, and their fans need to be better at it as well. We need to. I was blowing up like everyone else was. But I certainly won't blame the refereeing on that performance. There was balls on the ground, and we weren't the first to it. Errors, handling errors, silly passes, complete opposite of what we saw last week. And that's not good enough against a team like Penrith. This is a great point from Blake. Every team watches Cleary, gives him so much time. Yeah, he had so much time. And even if you take the 40-20 out of it, he had so much time. My brother is also throwing cheek. Now, I'm going to tell everyone, the whole world, my brother told me he was going to write this in. And he said, how do you feel about Bronson Xerri coming back? Well, that won't be happening. I would have felt different about it 5 years ago, whenever the heck it happened. But yeah, that my brother's just throwing a bit of news into the air. But I think that if you want to get the goss, go down to Mr. Paisley's tomorrow morning, and allegedly Gus is going to be at breakfast with Bronson Xerri. Brad said, Pooey stale team doing Pooey stale things. Can we please get rid of Jesse Pomeroy? He's just not there. Yeah, so on the Ramian thingy, very disappointing night tonight. I will maintain, I'm just saying, last week he was close to our best. Tonight he definitely wasn't. He still ran for over 100 meters, but he had 3 errors. He had 2 penalties conceded, and yeah, way off his game, and defensively just not great. I thought the edges weren't great defensively tonight. I thought that Stone Street was made to sort of look worse defensively than what he was. I thought he was okay tonight. He was just last man in sometimes. And I think, for example, the first try, Trindle saves a try by coming in, then they're short and they go to that side and Stone Street's kind of hanging out there, but it wasn't really his fault. Thanks for that, Daniel is correcting me on the one-on-one thing. J-Rick says, I am sad. Great pressure early. I have so many nightmares of the ball hitting a lead runner, leading to a knock-on. That's a great description of what happened tonight. Yeah, the effort was there. Like, the effort was there. The intensity was there for a while. And it looked like they'd sort of, like, used it all up by the 30th minute. And then they struck pretty early in the second half, I think, and that was kind of it. LJ Rose says, enough of the refs called BS. They were better. Yeah, end of didn't affect the way he played. Yep, that's fair enough, Joel. And I'm on your side. I am. I'm reading out stuff that people are talking about the refs. There was a bad call on Jesse when he was deemed to be holding back Jenkins, and Jenkins just ran into him. That was a bad call. But you're right. I'm on your side with that. I'm just reading out some stuff because I respect the audience and everything, but I don't think the referee played much of a part in this. I don't think referees really do that. Lewis says we need to lift on the 1%ers to beat the top tier after the last 2 years. That's what this entire season is about. And tonight they didn't do the 1%ers. It's a great way of looking at it. Thank you so much. JMF says too many errors and it was hard to see where and what our game plan was. Yeah, that's fair. I thought it was there early. Power game and good kick chase. We held Edwards in. Eero smashed him. Like, it was happening. It was happening in the first 10 to 15, but it's a long game. It's 80 minutes. You know, you can't hang on to that stuff forever. Andrew says our attack didn't fire a shot, and I think that that's pretty fair. They weren't allowed to as well, I don't think. Wes says, to be fair, the scoreline should have been more flat as a 2-week-old Pepsi or a 9.5-year can of Shark Island Premier's lager, which is just over out of sight. I'm too scared to touch it. Shake thinks that the Jesse Ramian game was a droppable game. We'll see what happens there. A good friend and colleague, G. Dover, says, came down the little moments we spoke about in the Gaz and Shinazzi show, a lot of handling errors. We had them on the back foot to start. Cleary ripped the 40-20 and the first attacking set they score. We went into our shell, game over. Yep, that's very fair. Ghastly 10 says, I'm okay with today. What we really know what needs to be worked on, and that's good to know at round 2. Reffing stands have been poor for everyone, but overall I know we should be better, and that's what it's about. Yeah, that's pretty wise. Our audience is the best podcast audience in the whole world, whether it's rugby league, whether it's, I was going to say Joe Rogan, but that's not very fair to our audience. You know, you guys and girls are the best. You see things the best, and that's completely a great way of looking at it. And that's in our group text that we do, which I don't really talk about too much, but the people that are on the show, we have group text. And I said a lot of what we saw tonight is fixable. You know, it's just not fixable tonight. Like, the game was gone, unfortunately. Even there was a sniff here or there. No, the game was gone. They did great to keep them to 26. Fantastic. Because it could have been a lot more, and we don't want to be one of those teams. Daniel says the halves were nowhere to be seen tonight. And the Nickera penalty on the brink of halftime was so dumb. Yeah, a lot of things they'd regret out there as far as penalties and errors go. Halves, I mean, I thought they tried hard, but it was hard to get into that game. a lot of the time. Once that dominance was gone after 15 minutes, it was hard to get in the position to do things. But yeah, nothing like last week, Daniel, that's for sure. And Gary sort of defines it like this: bottle that first 15 minutes, bottle that first 15 minutes and play for it for 80 and we'll be good. Yep, I agree with all that. Chris says we still have no answer for the Panthers. Mozzie Bites Cam Webb said we're missing something. Need to bounce back from poor refereeing or moments of brilliance from the opposition. Colquhoun was excellent tonight. Yeah, so it's that trick of, I mean, if you'd heard the hype video I did and the hype track and Friday Night Lights, left, right, and center, it's not about getting pushed down. It's about how you get back up, and they got to learn how to do that against the big opposition. Chris says, in my opinion, we can't compete if we have one-up football with no other options for the ball carry-out like second phase play, just like Penrith did. That's a great point. There wasn't a lot of offloading in good key moments there. Absolutely. And I think that's what I was saying before. They went into their shell and just played one-out footy, and you can never win by that. Hello to Done by Liam. I hear you're a really great graphic designer across the road. And I hear you got a pretty cool boss. Finn says that one hurts. Can't remember a team having such dominance over us as the Panthers team do. Now, that's a great point. And I was thinking about that tonight, what a bummer it is. But then I don't have the years for it on me. But before this run, we actually owned them for like 10 years. So it goes back and forth with the Penrith Panthers and the Sharks. But yeah, we're in a bit of a rut. Erica says, and the last 20 were good again. Jay said one of AFB's quietest games tonight. AFB, I mean, he still ran for 100, but yeah, I thought that we weren't exactly out muscled, but they had the offloads. It was hard to contain them at important parts, and I just thought it was more us than them. Like Penrith just iced things when they needed to. They weren't fantastic. They were just competent, you know. That's what's not so scary about them, is that they're not the Harlem Globetrotters. They can't score on a dime. It's more just you let them in and they score, that kind of thing. Finn says Fitz needs a new plan against these guys. Both the Clearys well and truly have the wood over us. Well, I think they're the only team he hasn't beaten yet. Fitzy over the Panthers. Jay says certainly a couple of poor calls from the ref. However, you got to play well enough so it's not an issue. We had some chances in the first 20 and blew it with too many short balls and flat passing. Yep, absolutely agree. And that's why the ref doesn't come into it, you know, definitely. And I'm happy for you guys and girls to talk about the ref, but, you know. Jay says, different Jay says, too many errors, didn't take opportunities in their half to build pressure. Go get them next time up. Yep, absolutely great point. There was very little pressure put on that team tonight. Well done to the Newtown Jets, says other Jay. Hello to our friend Claudia. We'll be seeing you soon in the house, which is great. Jay says good kick to get time to bring back Wilton next week for Nicara, says Jay. I don't know about that. He also says, I don't agree with what Gary said about bottling the first 15 in terms of defense and making yards. Yes, but once we got in the 20-meter zone, it didn't really go far. Yeah, I completely see that point of view. Absolutely. Mitch says, why do we play so vanilla against the elite teams? I swear the plan against Melbourne in this game was to try and contain them and maybe get them late. Both games conceded 3 tries in the first half. Yeah, I mean, I was a bit disturbed when we started shutting up shop with the ball early on. So someone has corrected me about the Panthers stuff. Sharks won 10 from 11 from 2013 to 19, and since then it's been the other way around. So, yep, that's what I was getting at. Thank you so much. David said, good to have a game like that early on to know what level you need to rise up to. So that's pretty wise words. Some more talk about the Brit penalty for the third try. So yeah, we're all in the same. We're all in the same market there. Hey guys, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
So Gary's joined, for those people listening, not watching. Gary from SharkCast. Now, the reason you were left hanging there, Gary, is because you know I've got the one screen. I'm on the Instagram, and on the Instagram I can't see you hanging out there, so I apologize.
Don't worry, just leave me hanging. That's fine.
Hey, you're looking pretty good for a guy that just lost 26-6.
It feels nice to be able to watch the Sharks games and actually analyze and see things properly. It's
yeah.
Game, but not a
you
good
got a
result.
job with the Bulldogs. We all know about it, man. Let's get past that. So I've had that comment up there for a while of yours, which I completely agree with. Jay gave you a bit of flack about the fact that we didn't do anything with the ball, and I agree with him as well. But I thought the opening. Yeah, no, there was some pretty bad passing there as well. Like the defense was rushing up. I'll give you that, but your hair's fine, dude. I liked what we were doing. They also didn't stick to it. So the Cleary 40-20 changed it, and then they just need to get that extra step when it goes against them. It's like, okay, you got a 40-20. He's the best in the world. I get it. Okay, we've got to move on from that. It was early in the game, so tell me stuff. Tell me things.
Stuff and things. Look,
yeah, stuff and things.
There was definitely positives to take from the first 15. We've all spoke about that, but we know that we're not at that level, unfortunately, right now. And the good thing that we spoke about in the preview show, it's round 2. It's not round 27 heading into finals. There's plenty of footy left to be had in the season. But I just don't think the whole blow up the team after one bad performance that everyone seems to be going on about again is the right move. I think, Jesse Raymond had a terrible game. Let's not sugarcoat it. But last week he was one of the best players on the field. So, let's maybe give him a third chance and see if he's still bad, then get rid of him.
I mean, they addressed it at the press conference about the fact that he had at least one meeting this week for his future. But that's, as Fitzy said, it's not a crime. Like, he's allowed to go do stuff on his day off. I would like to think he just had a bad game and it had nothing to do with that stuff.
He's also got a young family that he needs to look after, and he needs to secure a future when he doesn't have a lot of things outside of football. So why wouldn't he be going and looking at teams that are looking at him? But yeah, if that's affecting his footy, he needs to make a decision a bit quicker than he is.
He was way off tonight, and probably far and wide because, Tall Tom wasn't great with his hands, but that was just one of those nights. That happens, and it sucks. And we're not here to talk about how amazing he is, but we know he's a lot better than that. And he just had one of those nights, and that's
both our front rowers were. Both our starting front rows were quiet tonight, and then the bench felt very flat. They didn't feel like they came on and made an impact. So we kind of just got beat through the middle a little bit. And then, compounding errors and things that we were doing to ourselves, it doesn't help at all.
So Adam said it looked humid, even Cleary dropped one. And at least the Sharks didn't let it blow out, which is good. Our friend Cam Oliver said, feels like Cleary can read Hines and Trindle's attack from a mile away. I think they just have that rushing defense. They've started the season really strong. They've conceded, 6 points in 2 games. So they're on at the moment, the Panthers, and they've got a point to prove. And I'm disappointed. I'm really disappointed, but also, as we talked about Gary all week, for me, it's not like a bullet through the season. It's more like 100%. You got to be better than that,
Yes, yeah. I didn't think it would be as bad as it was, but unfortunately, it is. And that comment, I feel like Cleary can read Hines and Trindle's attack. I feel like Cleary can just read football games so well. When we started rushing, when he was kicking, we started rushing him, he just stepped to the side and get another 5 meters to kick. He's just that type of player. You can just see things that others can't. And unfortunately, it took them a while to get started last year. And I think they're out with a bit of a point to prove this year, the Panthers, that they're still who they think they are. And 2 games into the season, they've won 2 games. It took them 7 or 8 last year. So,
yeah. So future dudes asking which of these which of our players would fit into the Penrith team at the moment. And again, I think it's a loaded question because Penrith have had the best team in for 5 years, more or less. So it's a tough one there. He thinks AFB and Brayley on interchange at worst. I think they'd take a young hero. I'm sure they'd be interested in Trindle. AFB Bradley, like you mentioned. You can't tell me that Jesse Colquhoun wouldn't get a start. I know what you're saying. I appreciate it, future dude. Dan says the spine let us down. Brayley and the halves. I thought Brayley was still trying pretty hard. I thought he was trying to get those penalties and everything, and they weren't coming. I thought Nico was quiet in the first half, got a bit better in the second half. I thought Trindle was trying, but it wasn't really working like last week. Again, I don't think the halves necessarily let us down. I think we played a really good team. And at the time where we needed it the most, we just made those errors. Like, there were a lot of errors, Gary.
Yeah, there were so many errors and so many bad ones that we should have been sticking, like, especially close to the line there. There was a couple where, we hold on to those and we're going close to scoring. So it's not good viewing, but it is what it is.
Crime Watcher says nothing's changed, different year, same boring crap that cannot compete with the best. So, you know what? I appreciate that, and thank you for writing in. I think that's going off a little bit because we're forgetting what we did at the end of the season last year, and we did compete with the best, and we beat some of the best, and then the other best we kind of went toe-to-toe with. So I think it's too early to jump into that kind of thing. Wesley says, I don't know where you start aside from just bin it. And I think that's not what we want to do or what the club wants to do, but I understand what you're saying. They need to learn from it, though. I haven't heard the Fitzy presser yet. I'm sure someone will fill us in, but I think the learning word might come in at some point because
lessons
because it was that kind of night. Like, we had a lot to play for, and they started well. Can't take that away from them. This person, Bad Fish, says Stoney was good, shown some speed when he had a chance. I thought he was good. I thought, again, he attacked the high ball best he could. I thought defensively he was okay. And he had that one chance down the left. He burned one guy, then Edwards got to him.
Yeah.
I think he's a work in progress. Yeah.
I like that he just went for it. Like, he saw a bit of space and he's like, I'm giving this a crack. And he went for it. He got around the first. But, yeah, Edwards is such a good defensive fullback that, he tried to get inside him. He just couldn't. So,
yeah, I think both centers were a little bit, well, one was very much off his game. The other one was a little bit off what he usually is. I thought both wingers tried hard. I thought Will tried hard, but it was hard to kind of get into the game when the game's going like that. But I thought he tried really hard. Scott says it's the one team where I agree that we need more X factor. The attack didn't trouble them. There was a lot of drop ball due to their good defense. No time, no space. So that's all very wise. Crime Watcher says, love how you're reaching for the positives. Ha ha. Well, sometimes we do it on the show, sometimes we don't. But I'm just saying it how I feel, man. So hopefully you can respect that. If you don't, I appreciate that too. Let's not squabble. There's enough squabbling in the world, my friend. But I'm not saying, Crime Watcher, that I'm not walking away from that game going, how awesome are we? I'm saying, like, I expected a lot more. I didn't get it. What can we do to get it? Like, I don't think the year's over, my man. So that's kind of where I'm coming from. Ghastly says, I thought this is sort of game we got AFB for. He only got 54 minutes tonight. It's only round 2. Hopefully we won't see it in the future. And again, I didn't think that was really a problem, the middle and the forwards. We dominated them for a while, then they got on top of us. But I didn't think... I thought it was just more the edges and that kind of thing, and then the errors and that kind of positional play. So for me personally, I'll have to watch it back, but I didn't think the forwards were like brutally the issue. I love the fact, I feel sorry for our mate ULA, but I love the fact that Hohepa got on.
I was about to ask you what you thought of that.
He did a few good things. Like, he looks handy. He looks, and I've said it before, he looks a bit like Captain America from 2016, where he'd come on and just sort of steer him around a little bit, got a bit of a power game. I think that against a team like Penrith, it's a ballsy move throwing him in. He's probably had, 5 to 10 NRL games maybe? Like, I know he's more experienced, but as in he's an older guy. But I think against a lesser team, he probably would have dominated and changed the game. Against Penrith, I thought it was a bit of a uphill battle, but I didn't mind the idea because otherwise you just bring you on a prop to do another props job kind of thing. So you need to do something. I thought in the limited shots he got, he tried.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a bit of a, maybe it was a bit of a statement. I could be wrong there. Is it a statement?
No, I can
from
see
the
where
coach?
you're coming from with that. I think he needed to make a bit of a statement because all of our forwards were not great tonight. And bringing on someone like Hoepa just lets everyone know he's there. And if I want to use him, I'll use him. And if I need that X factor, it doesn't have to come from one of these big guys. It can come from a nice little ball playing lock type who's got a lot of weapons in his arsenal. So, yeah, good to see Pep get a bit of game time, but unfortunately not at a good point in the game.
The Andros says disappointing loss, but I think the boys totally put in. It wasn't their night. Some silly errors, key moments. Kennedy, Stone Street both played well. I think that's fair too. I think due to our friend Crime Watcher over there as well, who I'm not putting any smoke on. I'm just saying like that's where I'm coming from. It was like I didn't think they didn't try. They just came across a really good team, and unfortunately they made some really silly errors on our behalf, and they know it. Our mate Fitz says, I don't like bagging the refs, but Klein was following a script. Oh, boy. I don't know who wrote the script, but that was a complete shocker from him. You get a gut feeling when things just don't ring true. So on that, like I don't agree with any of the script stuff, and I'm not a ref basher, but as I've already said, I thought the Ramian on Jenkins penalty was complete rubbish. Like it was nonsense.
Awful.
And there were a few other moments where you're thinking, oh, that'll go our way, and it doesn't. And then you go, oh, they're playing Penrith. So I understand the script business, but do I really, like, gun to my head, and no one put a gun to my head, do I really believe that? No, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. But I appreciate Fitz saying it. Ghastly says the Puru minutes were great, enjoyed them, and he brought the energy and impact we needed earlier. Good signs as we'll be losing Sifra next year. So, yeah, that's another option for him, of course. Gary's left a message about Cleary, so I'm a bit behind here. Sorry. Wesley said, Ramian was one of our best last week. Come on, it's one game. We were all pretty bad. Let's face it. So, yeah, I am not dropping him for that game. I'm saying that right now to everyone. I'm not dropping him, but I'm also bringing him in the office on Monday and going, hey, dude, like, even if you look at that thing at the end with the shoulder charge or whatever the hell that was.
Yeah, what are you doing there?
It's frustration. I get it. We all get frustrated. We do silly things. We get frustrated. But on the back of a bad game, you can't be doing that because the whole world's going, oh, you've had a really bad game, and now this is how you're going to finish it. So certainly not excusing anything he did out there. But again, I didn't think he did it without effort. It wasn't like he went out there to cause trouble. Like he still ran for over 100 meters. He still put his body on the line for the club. But, you know, it was one of those nights. But that thing at the end was a little bit, that gets me thinking, it's silly, Gaz, but it gets me thinking, is there something more? Is there? But as Wesley says, last week he was one of our best.
Well, that's the thing. Like we were talking about Braden Welle last week. Obviously, everyone played really, really well, and he stood out because he made an error and they scored off it, right? Didn't think he was that bad after that. And tonight, everyone's pretty bad. So the people who are extra bad are going to stand out like a sore thumb just like that. So it's just like we got to just take a step back, give him another chance because he's still my starting center at the end of the day. Him and Kayla are, you know, two of the best in the game when they're on. So I'm going to give him another shot, and I hope everyone else will too.
Daniel says, enough signs to be positive about. Completion rate very low. Silly penalties. Penrith got a few 50-50s. And Penrith were decent. So Penrith weren't scary good tonight, and that's probably why they didn't go on with the job. But they did everything they had to do. Like they completed high, they kicked well, they chased well, and they waited for us to do the silly things. And unfortunately, see, I wonder if Fitz might take that route and he might say, oh no, we did that to ourselves. Like he might take Penrith out of the equation. I'm sure he'll be respectful, but because a lot of it was ourselves, a lot of it was silly. Terry says Penrith are our bogey team. Silly errors at the end of the second half killed us as well as the first half, I believe. Hello to our friend Kane, who's replying to something my brother said. Wesley said, I'm a bit behind you guys. Sorry about that. Wesley said, I agree, Sam. The officiating has nothing to do with the loss tonight. Shake says, we aren't we are not an up-and-coming team. That is not an acceptable game, and we can't get over the hump. I don't mind that either, to be honest. I don't mind that take, Gary. The only thing I would say is it's round 2. Now, tonight we saw ridiculous performances from Melbourne and to a lesser extent Penrith. And why can't we be with that? So that would be the counter argument to being round 2. But I think Shake's got a point here. Like, we're not an up-and-coming team. This is the 5th year together, and it's not acceptable to go play that way. So, yeah, I'm cool with that statement. What do you think about the statement?
I like the statement too. And I think, there was a lot of talk about, we finished the year strong and we've been thinking about it all off season. And, we came out and made a statement in round 1. We can't get to round 2 and then just fall off the wagon. Like, as he said, we're not an up-and-coming team. We've been together for a long time. This team's been kept together for a reason, and they need to be showing why they were kept together.
Yep, good points. Good points. Now, as I blankly look at the screen, it means I've jumped over somewhere else. Everyone, chill. Yeah. My nephew has joined, who I was playing footy with today. That was fun. Thomas. He used to be like this big. Now he's like
huge, very
tall. Christy says, hi, you mighty Sharkies. Hello, everyone. 685 King says we didn't come out playing like anything like we did last week. It's a very good point, although I'd counter that and say the start was pretty good. Oh, sorry, that's Christina from where is she? In Tennessee, I believe. Hello, Chris. Hello, I know where you are, Christina. Hello. Glad you're on there. Jay says in the presser, Fitz did bring up a few ref calls, but still said the Sharks weren't good enough. But they've got to go back and it's a reality check. So that's fair enough. And it says Gary Dover joined Instagram.
I was just sussing out the comments.
How was your night, Gary? How was your night aside from the loss?
I had my little niece's birthday all day today.
Oh, really?
So
all day?
Good day out. Yeah, we were out at Barangaroo, so it was a nice little family outing with everyone. And then, got home in time to watch the footy, which was always good until the end.
Troy says Sharks had a crack all night. Plenty of heart in the black, white, and blue. Positive stat. Cronulla led the match 22-0 in good chat behind the posts. Okay. Elite communication and leadership. Nothing in Mr. Paisley's coffee tomorrow can't fix up the Sharks. Oh, Mr. Paisley's getting a plug. Thanks, Troy. Now, I was on AJ Johnson watch this morning at Mr. Paisley's, and he hadn't come in yet when I was there. But I don't think he'll ever need to worry about buying a coffee ever again. So we send our congratulations to AJ. And we called it, you and I, Gary, we were right near him on Friday morning. We were like, this is the day. So you and I were right there. We saw the greatest try scorer of all time in the flesh on the day of him scoring a try. That's pretty good.
We should have had him on.
I know. I was tempted.
Will must have made a really good coffee.
Will makes good coffees, yeah. I was worried that we'd have him on for a short minute because he probably would have done such a nice guy and then he never would have scored ever again. That would be our curse or something. You killed the guy. Grungemeister Fuzz says, what a drag. Sharks still don't adjust to how Panthers attack with their defense, how they rush the first receiver, how they scrap in the ruck. Sharks need to deal with it. Yep, I love it. I think that's fair. They looked a bit lost at times. They do rush up. They do push that inside the 10 thing really well. There were several times tonight both of our halves had no time at all, and they got caught out. So, and that's where the rush passes come from everywhere else. That's where the errors come. So there's reasons for it. Adam says Britt defended in the middle too much, which might have left a little bit of space on the side. Jason says, not blaming the ref too much, but it's Ashley the snitch. Why doesn't the NRL let clubs choose one or two refs they don't want to ref the games? Yeah, I don't know, Jason. It's a good idea. Appreciate you writing in. Appreciate you watching. It's I don't know, man. I don't know about this ref stuff. Like, there were just, as I said and Gary said, there was one call we completely disagree with. But if you look at, and I've said it before, Gary, I don't know if you heard the try was it right before half time where Billy Burns had the one-on-one strip thing.
Yeah.
And then they all just looked at the ground. No one jumped on it. There was 3 or 4 guys just watching, and Cleary, I think it was Cleary, picks up and just scores. And it's like, well, that's on the players. It's not on the ref. It's not on, like, it's just like, that's enough to stop the try. That could change the game. That could change the game. Yeah.
And throws to Cleary. Like, in that time that he jumps on it, stands up, throws to Cleary. There was that many people around him. Someone should have jumped on the ball, or at least jumped on the man and tried to stop the play. It's like, those little things should be tidied up.
Badfish says, what do we think of Dan Ganane's idea of selling the ground to the NRL to be their asset so then we can get upgraded? Owning the ground isn't earning us money, especially the way it is. So I hadn't heard that idea, but I've heard the idea floated around before. We've got a good man on here to talk about it. What do I think about that idea? I think that if that is how it would work, like if they bought it and they made it awesome and they guaranteed we'd be playing there forevermore, so to speak, I've got no problem with it. Gary, do you think, and don't reveal what you can't reveal, even as an ex, don't do it, but do you think us selling the ground would put us in some sort of financial ruin?
I just feel like, right, the only way the ground's going to get fixed up in its current state and in the current climate is to have the government or someone else buy the ground and do it up, because it's not owned by the Sharks. That's something that's holding up at the moment. So
that's the NRL that Badfish and Dan Ganane are talking about, right? So say it's the NRL.
Yes.
But I'm saying, would there be any negativity there from a club point of view?
Well, I guess you just have to work out all the financials and what you get out of it, right? And how many times you play there a year and what sort of agreements you have in place. But there'd have to be some sort of benefit to upgrading your home ground and staying in your place of, history.
Because then you have the Leeds club open, and maybe your profits come from a Leeds club, but whoever owns the ground is making more money than you on game day, maybe, or something like that.
Yeah, there'd have to be some sort of something in place where you get money out of game days, but I just don't think it's all that bad of an idea if we get an upgraded ground and we don't have to move to the middle of the city.
So that's a yes from both myself and Gary Badfish. Thank you so much. AFB said, AFB. Adam says AFB set out wide in defense. I'll have to check that out. Thank you. Wes says, Wes says we never had any quality ball except for the first 10 minutes. Most of the game was played in our half.
Speaking of Adam out on the side defending, I just feel like at the moment we're missing a bit of mongrel, a bit of the Ronnies, like the Mick Ennis in people's faces. We're kind of just like going through the motion, trying to play good football. If something happens and, the teams come together, we kind of just cop it and move on. It's like there's no one who's in there going like, don't touch my boys. Yeah. Back off. We're here to play footy, all that. Like, we're missing that right now.
They're definitely missing Ronaldo in a million different ways. And we both wrapped Stone Street, so it's not a Stone Street thing.
Yeah,
we're just missing Ronaldo. Like, he's one of our best players. So, that's just going to be a fact for the next 10 to 15 weeks. We'll need to get over that. But on your point about that kind of thing, I mean, we saw a couple of flare-ups today, but they were just at the wrong times. It's like I think they talked about in the commentary, like you're losing 24-6 and you're going for the niggle or whatever. It's like, what's the point?
Terrible. Like, but even so, it's like you look back at, let's go back to 2016. Sure. Jack Bird, like, he's got it. You know what I mean? Like, there's people all over the field who have it. At the moment, there's not one for me.
See, I think that some of our guys have it. Maybe we see it at the wrong time. Like I would say Katoa has it when pushed. I know a Ramian's got it. I think a KL's got it. Trindle and Hines have it. It sort of comes out in weird ways, but they've got it. Like, I'm not going to list all the guys. I know what you're saying though, and I agree with you.
But I also up before anything happens, and he's confident about it, and he goes on with the job. There's no one else who's backing themselves that much to get in another person's face and try and put them off their game, but people do it to us almost religiously.
Now, Pete comes in and says the game was over after the 40-20 and the squad is as stale as 6-week-old bread. Although, Pete, it's on record. You were praising us last week, so don't let us forget that. But appreciate you writing in. And you're right.
Shinazzi's holding receipts.
I'm holding receipts now. Pete knows I love him. In fairness, without being dramatic, the game changed at the 40-20. It was over and it shouldn't have been over. So you're right, but it just shouldn't have been the case. We got Claudia here who's in the house next week. How exciting is that? Thought we showed a lot of promise in defense. Penrith threw everything at us, but we held strong for the most part. Fitness looked strong for the amount of tackling we had to do as well. That's a positivity there, which I like. And I keep going back to the opening of the game. I was really impressed. I was like, oh, here we go. It's going to be fun.
I thought we were going to go on with it. Like.
So I think that's something for the coach to address. Like, well, what happened there? Why did this happen? Maybe he needs to bring the leaders in and have a chat. Or maybe it's, I don't know, whoever's the most affected by it. Maybe it's the entire squad. But you just can't be that way in big games against big teams and think you're going to win the comp. Like, it's just... Yeah. You need to be better than that. And it was disappointing.
We spoke earlier about Jesse obviously not head in game tonight.
Yeah.
And is contract talk affecting that? When you look at how many people are off contract this year, do you think that plays a part throughout the year?
I hope
are we going to have these moments where people are chatting to other teams and things are happening?
Yeah, we'll have the moments. But I don't know if it's going to come to an on-field thing. And if it does, then I'd say get rid of them all because, again, we haven't said, like you and I have not said that's why Jesse was off tonight. So there's no proof there. And in fact, you, me, and the coach have said, and other people probably have said, no, it's fine. Go talk to who you need to and come back and we'll do some business. So I'm gonna say I'm making up this number. I'm 80% confident it had nothing to do with it. It might be higher. He just had a bad game. You know what I mean?
I like that number. Yeah,
sure. Like he's an almost 30-year-old professional athlete. We want them to be loyal. We want them to be like Andrew Eddinghausen. It's a different world we're living in. You know, like it's just a different world. They're all having chats with everyone. So I got to believe it had nothing to do with it. It's just not a good look. I'll say that. It's not a good look. You want to, after you've had coffee with the other coach, you want to come out.
When it comes out in that week, When it comes out in that week and you play the following game like that, it's an issue, but I don't think it's the cause of the bad game.
Marky Mark said the coach should watch the Brad Arthur Para games against Penrith from the last couple of years. They're the only team that really troubled them. And that's a great point. Like Para have had their really good runs over Penrith. Badfish says Gaz Dot, some love for you. Chris says not our night. There's always next week. Thank goodness for that. Shake is fighting back, saying it's not a one-off with Jesse. He's been hot and cold his entire career. Can't win a comp with players like that. So I think hot and cold his career is a little bit dramatic for me. I'll say this: last week and this week is hot and cold. Like that's an extreme. Yeah. He certainly wasn't his best last year.
But have been like that. How many guys in our squad have been like that? Like Tricky does it a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he's hot and cold, but last week we win the comp with Tricky. It's the same kind of deal.
Well, I've got 3 errors for Billy Burns, which is the same amount of errors against Ramey and against Tall Tom, and not one person's mentioned it. You know, and I'm not saying Billy Burns was necessarily in that category, but sometimes guys, and again, maybe it's the coffee thing. Maybe it's the fact that he wasn't on last year, but sometimes you just have this attention on you. You have a bad game, and we all kind of erupt.
Yes.
Shake says, if we learn from that one more time, I'm going to scream. So fair enough. Liam says, Penrith weren't even that particularly good in attack. We've got a long way to go to get to their level. Katoa's, what's this say? Katoa Sabersan? Is that something to do with Sione?
I don't know.
No.
Katoa Sabersan?
You know who you are. We can take a lot away from that game psychologically. Okay, interesting. Now, this is interesting from our friend Kane, Dyson Logistics. If you need logistics, hook up Kane, tell him that we sent you. Kane at Dyson Logistics. He said defensively, wingers need to trust their inside men. And I've already referenced the first try. I reckon that, I don't know. I think it's the centers more today, my friend. I know what you're saying, but I thought tonight it was more the inside men need to get the job done, personally.
There's a really good video, Sean Johnson, breaking down Dallin Watene-Zelezniak and how he rushes in. People need to go watch that. And that explains it beautifully on how it's a knock-on effect that rolls out to the winger who then has to jam, and it looks like it's all on him.
Or,
like a lot of the time, don't jam, but then a lot of the time, it's not their fault.
Yeah. And I think Kane should watch it just for fun, but I know Kane knows the game back to front. It's more, I thought, just based on tonight only. I didn't have a problem with the wingers coming in. Jamie says, I don't understand the rules around competing for kicks. So, yeah, to be completely fair, I haven't caught up with that one, but you need to jump in the, because there was the Euro one. That was a bad penalty too, the Euro competing for the ball. So there you go. There's two that I think were pretty bad. You need to jump up, compete, but use more than one hand or something? Is that right?
You have to have two hands competing for the ball. But then half the time people jump with two, knock it with one, and it's play on. So like, what's
I'm not comfortable with all the rule changes over summer, I've got to tell you. Brenda Fitzy says we lost. To be fair, that is in part about the refereeing, about discipline, and about playing what's in front of you. Here we go. Oh boy, I don't know if we can say this. Bathurst is nowhere near a ground-worthy NRL game. It wouldn't have cost much to bring in some hot white lights to the stadium and light it up better. I like going to the regions, but it still needs to be a bit more pro footy for the broadcast standard. Okay, fair enough. I mean, Fitz does know about that sort of stuff with TV and that kind of thing. But, thank you for that. Lewis said, Fitzy in the presser took issue with the Penrith knock back before the first try. Said it's been a knock on for 117 years. Now, remind me about that, Gary. Have we discussed that one? Remind me of that.
I cannot even think of what that was.
Oh, you know what? Someone was tagging me on lots of things online saying it was a knock-on, and apparently there was a knock-on. Also said he's bemused by the Jesse interference call, which we talked about, but he also said we were convincingly outplayed. So that's all fair.
And we were.
You're in trouble here, my friend. You're in trouble. Would you like to read that out for our listeners who aren't watching?
Gas tip the Panthers. Can you confirm, Gary? I know exactly who this is, and I can confirm that I tipped the Panthers.
Okay. Well, audience, on behalf of everyone, I apologize. Daniel said, not ideal. Don't know how to feel. Fair enough. I can relate to that. Okay. Williams 2.0 says, got to admit, physically we were up to it. Just very slow in our attack and silly mistakes. I think that might be Williams 2.0 from the ET Stand podcast. So if it is, hello to you. Maybe it's someone else mimicking him. Got to stand up physically. Got to admit, physically we're up for it, but slow in attack and silly mistakes. Yeah, that's fair. Thank you for that. Liam also says, I miss Ronnie. Your friend Liam. Dave says, we look flat. I think the first 10 minutes took more out of us than we thought. Yeah, I think you're right in hindsight because they looked incredible. And then it just kind of, I don't know. But I don't know what else you're supposed to do. Like, you want to come out of the blocks. You want to be, see if we'd scored a try or two, maybe it'd be a different story. Maybe we'd be doing the strangling. Maybe it would have been closer. Maybe it would have been golden point. I don't know. But I felt like they had to start that way, but they just didn't score any points.
I feel like what took it out of us was not the fact that we had so much ball and we were attacking and trying to get something done. But as soon as that 40-20 goes in and they score off their first attacking set, that's deflating.
So annoying. He's so annoying, Cleary. Corey says, unfortunately for us, the Panthers are a well-oiled machine. Once it starts, it can't be stopped. But he also says it's round 2. That's a good point. Very good point. Thanks, Corey. Hope you're well. Liam says, need to add a Walgreens to the stadium.
I 1000% agree with that statement. That is the best comment of the night.
Now, okay. It might be a voucher coming your way. Badfish says we're missing the niggle 100%. So that's back what we were talking about. He also says Stoney or Iro could be a prick, as in like they could be like, badasses. Do we know? So we'd have to see him get pushed, I guess. I think I've seen KL do it. I don't know about Sam. Craig says we need some new blood. Dave said we're becoming predictable in attack if 2 or 3 plays don't work. So
I mentioned this at the back end of last year. I feel like teams have worked us out.
Well, it didn't work us out last week.
I just feel like, yeah, but it's like, let's roll that back and say it was the Titans.
I know.
With respect.
Well, I think what Dave is saying, if it doesn't happen the first 2 or 3 plays, then they sort of go into their shell a bit. And I was one of the things I was disappointed about was the fact that we just didn't roll the dice when it was looking like if they were next to score, they'd win, like probably 12-0 down. You'd say it got to be next to score, and they just were sort of sticking to that plan. And I appreciate what they're trying to do, but I think bringing on Hohepa was a bit too late for that kind of change. And Wes does say round 2, calm the farm, Sharks fans. So I can relate to that. Dave says, as hard as it was to find positives, Brayley is playing huge, and we agree with that. Badfish says apparently Fitz. Yeah, he almost got the 40-20. Apparently Fitz doesn't sleep; he waits. Okay. And also Future Dude. There's a lot of screaming from Future Dude. If he hears it's round 2 one more time, he's going to scream. Well, what can we say, man? Like, come on. Like, we're trying to say that there's only been a little bit of footy. It's round 2. Okay, we're over on the Insta. Hello, everyone over there. Jay's getting a bit cheeky and said, any chance you could have Clinton on later in the week for his thoughts on the loss? Clinton's not scheduled for next week, but you never say never. But he was on the text. He took it okay, better than I thought. Wouldn't you say, Gary?
Yeah, that was one of his better takes of the game, for sure.
Any word on what the next jersey the Sharks will bring out this season? Oh, I'd have to hit up my mate Barnesy now that Gary's not there. But no, we'll find out. We'll find out for you. Hello to our friend Kyle Docking. Grade NRL Cards said, he thought that you were Bo Ryan. I've said that to you before. You heard that one?
I've heard it a couple of times, yes. Not
what
as
is
funny.
what does the shortening mean? NGL. NGL. I thought you were Bo Ryan.
Not gonna lie.
Does that mean something? Not gonna lie. There you go. You young people and your fancy words. My colleague AJ is on there. Your former colleague Rebecca's watching. So hello to Rebecca. Jay says it's only round 2. Plenty of time to keep working on things. We have some other tests with the Raiders, Warriors, Roosters coming up. Yeah, it never really ends, does it? Like, it's just always something around the corner. Joe says, I'm at Bathurst and I'm feeling sad. That sucks. I'm sorry about that. Good effort. I want to hear during the week what everyone thought about the Bathurst game and the experience, everything else. What was the game day like? Nissan says we need to get Teague back. I feel he goes so underrated and is an important leader within the team. Well, you're getting him back in a week or 2. I don't know what that means for who he's going to replace, but Teague's coming back. He's a big part of the team, and he's underrated.
A big voice in the locker room as well.
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't think he talks as much as he does, and everything that he says is very well taken and appreciated.
I've said it numerous times now. Like, he's one of the baddest dudes there. Like, as far as like, I reckon, don't mess with Teague. Don't
100%.
on his birthday. Don't give him a surprise party. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know how he's going to react. Like, he's all business. Lovely guy.
He's very
lovely guy.
Very,
Lovely. But he's all business, man. Like, when I get him to crack a smile in an interview, I'm pretty happy. I'm like, oh, that's good. Get you to smile. Again, like that. Lovely dude, but he's just, he's there for business. Like, Blake's all like this, and the Tongan fisherman wants to talk about YouTube, but Teague wants to talk football. And if I'm not going to talk football, then he's out of there.
Mate. Yeah.
Try asking him about rock and roll. It's a tough one. Wesley said, it's only round 2, future dude. There, I said it. Lol. Badfish said the night is long and full of terrors, not for Cronulla. Okay. NRL Merseyside Red said a bit disappointing. Similar to other big game losses, we seem to shoot ourselves in the foot with poor choices with and without the ball. Can't give great players a leg up onto next week. Yep, that's completely accurate as well for us. I don't know how many times we can say it. Like, it's just, you can't play that way. And it was sort of like a slow motion thing tonight. It was like, although it happened sort of, I guess, 15 minute to halftime and it was over. But you sort of like, you're watching the TV or at the game and you're like, no, don't let that happen. Oh, okay, got the 40-20. Okay, well, let's just tie that one up and move on. Okay, we've got a try from the 40-20. Okay, it's 6-0. Let's calm the farm here. Oh, error.
Compounding error after error.
Do you think the general NRL question, do you think the 6 again thing is going to come to a head? Like, it'll be like the media and maybe a big coach will say something. Do you think they'll have to look at it at some point, or they'll stick to their guns with it?
Nah, they have to look at it because like there was one point there in the game where Brails took off and like easily dude's offside, out of position.
Didn't get it. Yep.
6 again. But then he's got to slowly get up, play the ball. It's like, just give us the penalty. Just give us the penalty. We'll kick downfield and let's start again. And then we'll see, a bit of momentum off the back of that. But yeah, I'm not liking the 6 agains at the moment.
Yeah. Nissan GTR fan says Nico's hard to watch at times because he doesn't seem to have the creativity he had in his Dally M season. Tonight he didn't have it, that's for sure. Last week he was pretty good. I thought the effort was there tonight. He was running a bit more in the second half. I thought it was hard for him and Trindle to get into the game. I know that some people say it's a cop-out, but I think it's reality when so much is going against you. Now, it doesn't mean that those two halves shouldn't be able to pull something out of the bag like Cleary did. And we almost saw Blake do it, Yeah, but I also think on tonight's performance alone, it's hard to judge. And to the other person's point about round 2 and how they're getting a bit annoyed with that fact, it's like, well, what we're saying is, well, next week's round 3, you play Dolphins, pretty good team. Then we'll have 3 games to judge them on. And, week after week, it'll get easy to understand what's going on. But based on this year, well, last week we were amazing. And tonight, not so good and can't compete with the best team in the comp. So you don't know where the truth is. Maybe the truth is in the middle. Maybe that's more realistic. I don't know. But we're obviously better than what happened tonight. There's no doubt in my mind.
100%. And here's one for you. Maybe you might know a bit more than I do now that I'm out of the building. But our newest assistant coach, Fred Michalak, he's a very creative half-style player, obviously from rugby union. But when Nico won his Dally M, he was around the building. So when does he get into the club? He's not there yet. When does he get into the club and start implementing some of that stuff?
I think it's not for a little while, and I can't remember the reason. It was a valid reason. It was like, okay, it might be some. Yeah. Is there a Rugby World Cup on or something? Is something to do with that? Maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe don't quote me on that. But he'll be coming at some point. To your point, he'll be coming at some point.
Has a fresh set of ideas. Is my point. But because he's not there yet, we're not really seeing anything else.
Hope Sard said, up the dogs, lad. Please, we don't need that on this show. Please, don't say yes.
No, it's no
I'll start rumors. Jason says, hope for the 6 again to get rid of it. There's a reason why there's an all-time try record. A new all-time try record. Okay. Yeah, I think it's hopeless, to be honest. I didn't mind it when it came in because you use it sparingly and it can be really effective.
Just getting out of hand now.
And then a team like Penrith who can defend really well, and to a lesser degree us, depending who we're playing, a couple of teams top tier in the defensive side of things, you can give 6. Like we saw, was it second half tonight where Penrith gave away like 3 or 4 in the same period? It was like, well, why don't you sin bin one of them? Like it's the only thing that's going to stop it. So
and they just get their lines set again. The same thing happened in the game before ours, like Storm Dragons game. The Storm would have given away 3 or 4 in a row on their line, and they were just getting set and defending it. Like, got to go.
Nissan GTR fan says, to his other point, it feels like Nico can't win us a game from nowhere like Cleary or Walsh can for Brisbane. He can only add the icing on top of games we would have won anyway. So that's his point there. Yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily Nico's style to do that. I hear you there. But I feel like since Nico's been in the team, we've had one of those teams where they can all just play as a team and win. And it hasn't been up to him to do that. And I know he's the highest paid player. I know he's got the number on his back. But if he's not going to do it, then someone else needs to do it. So I don't know how to answer that really, except I know what you're saying. But if he's never really been that guy, it's hard to become that guy.
We spoke about it in our chat, and it wasn't Nico based. It was more around the fact that we don't have an X factor that breaks open games the way some of those other X factors do. And that's not a Nico thing. That's not Nico's style. That's not Nico's game. But it's kind of telling that we need one in periods and moments, and we don't have one.
Danny says, disappointing performance. I thought we'd match them today. I was full of confidence. He certainly was full of confidence. I remember all the messages you sent.
I think we all
he
were.
says, yeah, we all were. He says, can the coach take the blame for the game plan, or do we think the players were overwhelmed? That's a great question. What do you think about that, Gary?
I think they've been together long enough to not be overwhelmed by a situation like playing Penrith in round 2 at Bathurst.
That's a good point.
I also don't think it's his fault.
I don't think they were necessarily freaked out or overwhelmed, even though we've said all this stuff about them. I don't think that's the word they would use. I just think they were outplayed.
Out-muscled,
like I know we talked about the 40-20 changing things, but I don't think they saw that 40-20 go in and they went, well, that's it. Like, it's all over. It was more just it naturally happened, right? And then we go, oh, the 40-20. I don't think the coach is to blame. I think there's things he can do. I think he can bring on Puru a bit earlier, or I think that he can send out messages, and maybe he was, I don't know, maybe he sent messages that I want to hear, and maybe he did that. But I think it's more on the players, but I don't think they were overwhelmed. I just think that they didn't have the answers. Maybe is there a difference in those definitions? I'm not sure. Dave says Nico is no SJ, but an X factor is needed in the spine. Okay. He also says, who could that X factor be? Do you reckon it's where Ison comes in, or is Brayley going to be that guy? That's a great question. I think the Ison chat's super premature. It's like how we talk about Michael Gabriel. Like, I mean, he's an X factor, right? But when's he going to get a chance? So say Ramian's suspended next week, he gets his chance. But that's one game. And he would have to have a 10 out of 10 game to hold his spot against Jesse Ramian right now. That's just how it is. Brayley, I think he's doing really well at being an X factor, but maybe it's hard to do it for a hooker every game. I'm not sure. We saw today in the Melbourne game, their hooker just, again, change the game and be amazing. So if you're going to be in that tier like Brayley is, then maybe it's up to him to kind of do it. But I do think he's doing quite a lot for us as it is. Otherwise, you might need to look out of on the market if you're after. I mean, you know what an X factor is that Melbourne fullback. And this is nothing about Will Kennedy. The Melbourne fullback today was unbelievable.
Yeah, so that's what I mean.
That's an X factor.
Just like, that's the type of player, and like our guys play well together as a team and as a combination, but there's not one who kind of just takes the bull by the horns and does it all on his own in key moments.
So Badfish answers this, and he said, we're good. It's early doors. I don't think we need a new X factor. I think the levels that Brayley and Will go to will be balls out. So, that's a pretty big statement. And I like it. And we saw it last year.
Yeah.
that's why we need to wait for rounds 3, 4, 5. You know, I know it's annoying. I know it's going to take some patience, but we won't know where we're at. Like where we're at now is we absolutely walloped a Gold Coast team who looked terrible, and then tonight we lost to a Penrith team who were on. They weren't amazing, but they were on. They did their thing, and we lost by 20 points. Didn't lose by 50. To be fair, after 20 minutes, probably weren't in the game as far as winning it. But it's hard to read. It's hard to. What does that mean for your season? Does that mean you're going to finish 5th? Are you a chance to finish 4th? Are people ruling out the top 4 already? Like I think it's just all too early. You know, like it just is. Early. Like we've seen teams and our team and this team get knocked over and stand back up and do stuff. We've seen this team do amazing things. Like we've seen this team, you know, beat teams that magic around in front of 40,000 people. We've seen them win in Melbourne with like no spine. We've seen them go to Canberra and trounce Canberra in the finals. Like, there's things they can do. So that's why I'm not going to be putting any lines anywhere. But yeah, it's definitely a disappointing night. I mean, NRL Merseyside Red said, is there any update on Ison? I haven't heard anything since he was ruled out. So it's the same thing. It's still knee soreness. He's still got a bit of fluid in there. I think that he'll be a chance to be named the next few weeks, and then it's up to him to sort of play really well for, I would imagine, the magic marker will be 10 to 15 games. You know, I don't think he has 3 New South Wales Cup games and then comes in unless there's an injury or something. I think he's really going to have to fight for that jersey. Whether he does enough throughout the season and they see enough in him and he's healthy and then they see Will and they go, we're going to choose him. A lot of stuff's got to take place. But at the moment, to answer your question, I think he's still a few weeks away from Cup. Jason said, what happened to Will is the new David Peachy? Are we still waiting for that next year? Well, hang on. Who said he was the next David Peachy? I mean, he's got trademarks of David Peachy in that he's fullback, he's Indigenous, he's kind of taller than he looks, and he has some pretty wild attack every now and then. I'm not aware of anyone calling him the new David Peachy, you know, and I think I think it's really, really unfair for someone to put that on someone else, because we're talking about a club great. It's like people saying that Para waiting for the next Peter Sterling. Like, it's just not fair, you know, like don't do that to someone. I didn't think Will was the problem tonight again, Jason. So I think we're looking at the wrong things here. But I mean, we've seen him do stuff and we saw him try tonight. He tried his guts out. He was at home and his family were there, and we saw him even tonight try and do some things, and it didn't come off. But yeah, that's where that's at with the David Peachy stuff. David Peachy was in the house. He was up there. So very good. Very, very good. Jay says, does Wilson come in now? And I think he does. What do you think, Gary?
Yeah, if he's fit and ready to go, he's always my starting edge. Love Billy and love what Billy's been doing, but I just
absolutely
like Teague as a player and what he brings to the team in terms of leadership as well.
Now, Jay's brought up a really serious thought, which we send our wishes to as well, to Nathan Merritt, former Shark, absolute legend of the Rabbitohs, but had some great years at the Sharks. Got some very, very serious health news. I'll let you go check that out in your local newspaper, etc. Look online, but he's very unwell. And so if there's some sort of charity that like a fundraiser that comes up for him, which I'm sure it will, if you have $1 or $2 to spare, then please do so. Because he's in a lot of health really issues. Yeah, so he played great for us as a Shark, and hopefully our club can get behind him as well. So thanks for raising that. Really appreciate it. Jay says, while Lang won a comp at Penrith, the time at Cronulla was very successful, but couldn't get that premiership. So I think that's a bit of in reference to Fitzy and that kind of thing. And there was some reference to David Peachy and Will Kennedy, mainly from an Andrew Voss type person when he first hit first grade. So I appreciate that. I know there are things there, but Now, here we go. This is good. This is good.
What do
There's
you
lots of
got?
good stuff coming through. Have I missed all these pings?
Need a
I'll get
moderator.
to the good stuff. I need a moderator. I need something. Oh my God. Mark says, Penrith are very confident when playing us. They were angling to meet us in the finals week 1 until we beat the Bulldogs in the last round. They have no fear of us and we know it. I think that's pretty fair. I saw a lot of body language out there tonight and I didn't like it. And that's why it really annoys me losing to this mob. Like, it really annoys me. I'm starting to be one of those people where I take this round a bit more serious than I should because I just want to get that win. I love it too. I love it too. I'm saying that in good nature. And I think you're 100% right. There was a time when Dylan Edwards was pointing out something at Trindle, and he was probably saying, like, how many rings have you got? Like, you know, like it's all above board. But here we go. Gaz, the dot Glazer 2016 says, I wish I had hair like Gary. Man, we all do. Look at it. It's just like this immaculate
Luscious, is it?
piece.
This is hat hair. I've been wearing a hat all day.
Well, maybe that's the key. I was wearing a hat all day, and that's not my hair. Looks like.
Take yours off.
I'm not doing it now. Danny said Billy Burns was our best. That's interesting. Badfish says, can we discuss your immaculate beard? Another one for you, Gary.
Mine? This is stubble. Stubble, your beard.
Oh, my beard. Here's another one for you, I believe. It's from GSTKNY. If Gaz had to win a 100-meter race against a current Sharks player, who does he think he could beat? It's a great question.
Oh, there'd be a few, I reckon. I'm pretty quick over 100. I'm gonna claim it early, and I'm happy to set up a race if anyone wants to film it or you want to put this live.
Will Kennedy.
Like I could beat it. No, probably not Will.
Sione Katoa.
Probably not. Oh, no, probably not Sione.
Jesse Ramian.
Jesse, maybe not. Maybe none of our backs. Maybe let's just go forwards. I was a forward, so
Halves?
It's even playing field. Yeah,
You're
halves.
forward.
I reckon I could maybe beat our halves. I'm pretty quick, Shinaz.
Fanua Blake.
Yeah, got him covered.
I'm telling him. I'm going to tell him at Mr. Paisley's.
I'll see him at Paisley's. He'll give it.
You know that guy used to take photos of you. He was talking smack about you. You have to go eat him now.
I'll race him. Set it up.
You know what AFB would say? I choose not to race. Blake Brayley.
Yeah, I reckon I could beat Blake. Not over a long distance, over a short distance. I reckon I got him.
Well, no, the question is 100 meters.
Yeah, 100 meters. Let's go.
Tom Hazelton.
Yep.
I can probably beat him. Oh, Britton Nickera.
Yep.
Billy Burns.
I'm pretty quick. I'm backing myself here. I'm pretty quick.
Billy Burns.
Yep. Got him covered.
Colhoun.
Yep.
So your phone's going off already. People are watching.
People are buzzing.
Talakai.
Yep. Got him. We should do a race.
Rudolph.
Yep. Easy.
Kafusi.
Yep.
Ueli. He's pretty good in the short distance.
Nah, got him.
Puru.
Yep. I reckon the rest
Both
of the team I got
Purus?
covered. Yep, both Purus.
You haven't got Chris Vaiella covered.
Nah, he's got a long stride. I reckon I'll get him.
Okay. Well, I'll make note of what you
There's a
said.
few
and
there.
We'll pass
There's
that
a
on to
few
the team. Hope Sard said, insane knowledge, Gaz. Have you ever considered coaching? I know a few coaches under the pressure at the moment.
I don't want to coach the Cowboys if that's what we're getting.
How do you feel? How do you feel about North Queensland?
Someone's
going to be doing it. Man, you are just copping it left, right, and center. Danny wants to know: are you having breakfast with Gus and Sherry tomorrow at Mr. Paisley's?
I wasn't invited, but I might rock up and just see what's happening.
Mate,
it's an interesting conversation.
Is it true that you and Tom Hazelton are cousins? I don't think that's true.
No.
Jason's saying, I'm not saying that Will Kennedy is the problem. I love him. So that's cool. No worries there. Dave says, apart from a lazy Cleary try, all tries were scored out wide tonight. I'd take that as a positive. Yeah, I don't know if it's a positive, but I understand what you're saying. Didn't go through the middle. Yeah, I can see it being a positive of sorts. and I appreciate that. And then this is the quote of the night. Hope Sard says, bro thinks he's Usain Bolt.
Well, not that quick, but I'm quick. I'm copping it. I'm quick.
And also says, make the race happen. It'll be great content, mate.
It will be.
You know what happens is at the end of the race, if AFB beats you, he gets to eat you on camera.
Done. But the thing is, they've got Matt Shervington on their side, right? Do I get some sort of 1 or 2 week sprint training pre-race?
I'll be your coach.
Done.
Andrew says, Melbourne Storm supporter here. Hello, welcome. I always feel as if once you shut down Trindle, the Sharks panic and lose. Nico goes quiet in big games. Others need to step up if Trindle isn't firing. That's interesting. What do you think about that, Gary?
Yeah, I feel like that can happen with other teams. I don't think it happens with ours. Like when you look at South, for example, if you can get under Cody Walker's skin, under Latrell's skin, they start to fall apart a little bit. I don't think that happens with us. And if you shut down Tricky, we kind of panic and lose. I don't think that's the case. And I don't think Nico necessarily goes quiet in big games. I feel like they send a lot of traffic his way and he has to make a lot of tackles. And he kind of loses a bit of edge in attack off the back of that.
So tonight he made 25 tackles and missed 1. And he's legit top 3 or 4 most tackles in the game for us. Trindle had 8 tackles and missed 1. So they 3 times the amount of tackles went down his side, Nico's side.
Yeah.
So it's a good point.
Yeah.
Appreciate you writing, Andrew. I mean, the Nico in big games thing doesn't go away until he kind of shuts a few down, but we've seen him do it in games. And I'll say that to people who listen, like we've seen him win big games. It's just
absolutely
there is a spotlight on him, unfortunately. Nissan GTR says, I missed Mulatalo, not saying Stone Street is a problem, just Mulatalo is elite and in a way an X factor. I think that's really well put in everything you've just said, because Stone Street is doing just fine.
Yeah.
But he's not Mulatalo, and not many people out there are, from the run meters to the flair to the creativity to, as Gary said, the kind of lip and the attitude. Like it's confident. They're missing a lot. Now I'm going to ask parents to look away. I'm not going to say this comment. I'm just going to ask parents to turn their kids away. And this is for you, Gary. It's from Wes. It's about Shervo. And you don't need to reply. There you go. You replied. Shervo's a lovely dude.
He does. He's got a majority of the world covered, I think.
Yeah. Now, that's a better way to say on that. Jay says, has Gary been getting his hair from getting tips from Chad Townsend about his hair?
No, but I'll take them. Man had luscious hair.
Still does, I think.
Absolutely.
He also says in the first half, Hines had to make 15 tackles, and that's why we didn't see him run until the second half. I mean, it's a reason. It's probably not the reason. I'm completely agreeing with what you're saying, Jay, but it's like that's not enough for me to go, oh, well, he couldn't do something because he's making tackles. We're just saying, like you are, he had a lot to do. So it wasn't like he wasn't doing anything, that's for sure. The Penrith Panthers win 26 points to 6. We come home to Ocean Protect Stadium Saturday, 5:30 p.m. And what do you reckon about that? I mean, we haven't seen the Dolphins this weekend, have we, Gary? But
haven't. No,
they're a good team. They had a bad week last week, but they're a good team.
Yeah, they got some good players in there. Izzy Katoa, I think he's a really good young half, and yeah, we'll see how they go tomorrow. But yeah, we got to be on our game.
So what you've got like 11 children. I've got one. You know those books that they read called "Would You Rather"? Is that what it's called? Would you?
I have no
idea.
Maybe
your kids are too young. There's a specific book publication. They release like one every like 3 months, and it's like, would you rather, eat a chocolate sandwich with ants on it, or would you rather lick your grandmother's toes? Like, it's just disgusting, but it's like aimed at that kind of young boy kind of thing. Anyway, off topic. This person says, would you rather fight one round with prime Mike Tyson or talk like him for the rest of your life? I'm glad that we're getting to the lighter side of the note. It's a great question.
I reckon I'd try and fight one round. I feel like I could run away for a minute, 2 minutes.
Prime. Oh,
I know. I get it.
Marky Mark says, with the amount of tackles set to Nico, it would appear teams deem him as more of a threat, needing to be blunted. It's like the opposite of what the internet says. That's very astute. That's interesting. Because, why are they doing that? Because he obviously can tackle. He's not going to let many through. Is it to really shut him down from... Yeah. Interesting. Badfish says, an early crow. I like this. Everyone's going to like this. Sharks minor premiers. GFM. What does GFM mean? Grand final made. Is that what it means?
I have no idea.
Well, either way, we're going to be minor premiers. That's pretty good.
I'll take that. It's only round 2.
And Gaz.Glacius, you've got all these people trolling you. I'll be in your corner, Gary, no matter what. Your corner.
Thank you so much.
Jason says, Nakora needs to study Luke Lewis, find some more lines in the defensive line. Well, Luke Lewis was the best at what he did. Like, let's not sugarcoat that. He was unbelievable.
Britt's pretty good.
Britt's good. I think when Britt doesn't hit the mark, everyone kind of goes, I'm not saying this is Jason, but everyone just kind of goes, oh, what did he do tonight? And if you look at his stats are not amazing. There's stuff there, but it's not like headline grabbing. But then when he does it, everyone goes, he's the best. So he might have a point. I see. Badfish said in the grand final, unfortunately. Oh, Sharks Melbourne grand final. Oh, okay. But
10 years later.
Are we going to win or
of course.
Holding our breath here? I hope so. The old 10-year anniversary coming up. I was thinking about this, Gary. What happens if not Nico Hines, what's his name? The love of my life. Valentine Holmes. What happens if he's playing on the same day as our official reunion? Is he going to...
Too bad. Shouldn't have gone to the Dragons.
Well, too bad he can't play, more likely. You got to come to the reunion.
Now we're thinking.
Yeah, I think about these things a lot. I think about 2016 a lot.
Good year. Great year.
And Jason is also praising Luke Lewis when he talks about Luke Lewis. All right. Sharks win 26-16. I'm going to wrap up here. Been a great night. 1,000 comments. Really appreciate it. And appreciate Gary jumping on as well with his immaculate hair. We're off to Ocean Protect Stadium next week. 5:30 kickoff. We'll do a bunch of pods here before then. And here's a serious question from, I don't know how to say this person's name. How do I say this person's name?
Just Kenny.
Who's been writing to us. Just Kenny. Apart from 2016 GF, what's one Sharks game you'd love to relive for the first time? It's a great question. We love these questions. What do you think, Gary?
Sharknado again.
Yeah, just for the fun of it.
It's fun. Just guys in wetsuits, in scuba suits, and just crazy weather. It was just...
That's a good one.
It was great.
It was great. It was a real experience.
That's the word. It was a real experience.
I love it's a bit like so the first Sharks home game in 67 at Sutherland. And we've both, you and I, over the years, separately more than together, have met people older than us, literally lifelong fans of the club. And they're like, yeah, I was there. And it's like, oh, cool, you know, and I'm sure they were the people we've met. But the amount of people I've met over the years, and you look at the official attendance, it's like whatever it is, it's like, have I met everyone that was at that game, or are people telling me they were there and maybe they weren't there, but their brother was there?
I don't think a lot of them are there.
Sharknado's be like that because what was the crowd, like 2,000 or whatever? Like, I don't know what it was.
No one was there. Why would you be there? It was
no, but we did. I mean, we did know a lot of people there. To be fair, because we're living in that generation, and I know a lot of people there. I remember seeing a lot of people there, but there weren't many people there. That's my point.
Absolutely. Tiny
That's a great
crowd.
question. What would I go back to? Oh my gosh. It's a bit of a cheap answer, but I honestly think maybe the prelim against the Cowboys, because again, it was just that feeling like, what the hell?
I was about to say that. I was
Yeah.
about to say that exact game.
Yeah, it's a
That
cheap
was
answer
just
though.
fun.
It's a cheap answer.
But it was just fun.
It was weird. It was like, is something actually going to work out for this club? Like, is something actually going to happen? Like, what? But I loved everything about it, like just the event and before and after, and I ended up at the Golden Barley, and it was just I was sitting there, I was just like, what the hell? We're going to a grand final.
So good.
Other than that, there are a lot of games. We'd love to hear what everyone else thinks. Write to us, sharkcastpod@gmail.com.
It's a great question. I like the question.
Lewis is also saying that the 2016 prelim, that's what he said. Okay, well, we're not going. We've got a few more questions. Hold the we're going here. We'll get to the good stuff, but some silly stuff. Mark says Mike Tyson was fast. Watch the best compilations. It's like he teleports at you, then destroys your organs before taking your head off. Man, I'm not a boxing guy, but I have seen it and at times been more interested than not, and he was just unbelievable. Like he was brutal. Wesley says, thank you, gentlemen. Up. No, thank you, sir. Gaz has got a question, different Gaz, saying if you decide one player in the comp to come to the Sharks, who would it be? I think just as far as recency bias goes, it's going to be the fullback from Melbourne. And you guys know I love Will Kennedy, but the guy from Melbourne, I was thinking about watching him today. I don't think you saw it, Gaz. He scored a hat trick in the second half. He reminds me of everything I love about rugby league. He's a bit smaller. He's quick. He's got the mad step. He's tough. He's like the Preston Campbell. He's like the Benji Marshall. He brings in people through the gate. You don't know what this guy's going to do. I'd say him. What about you?
I would say the exact same.
Ooh.
And it's not a slight on Will at all.
No.
I think he's at an age and a skill level and an X factor that we need to break open games.
Badfish says the prelim was the best. Jason says, before you go, Sam, did you talk about seeing Counting Crows or Black Sorrows a couple of years back? Definitely Counting Crows. Black Sorrows I've never seen. I love the Black Sorrows, Australian band. I'm a huge Counting Crows fan. You would have seen on social media that our friend Clinton interviewed Adam Duritz from Counting Crows, which blew my mind this week. You can go listen to these podcasts. It's like a half-hour chat. It's unbelievable. And Clinton actually offered for me to be there, but I said that's not good for anyone. Adam Duritz, Clinton, you don't want me around. But yeah, I'm a huge Counting Crows fan. I'm going to go see him in a couple of weeks. If you like just sort of good old-fashioned, how would I say it? It's not really alternative rock or anything. It's just good songwriting, a little bit kind of traditional, but really good live band. There's like 7 on stage, a lot happening. The singer, Adam, a really emotional singer. And yeah, you should go see him if you get a chance. I think there's tickets to the last show at the Enmore, which are available, and they're just phenomenal. Like you will not have a bad time, and you'll know a bunch of their songs as well. You know, Mr. Jones, you know, Around Here, you know, Omaha, a couple of those songs from the movies. You might know, Gary, one from Shrek, Accidentally in Love.
Shrek. I love how it came back to Shrek. I do know it, and it's great.
There you go.
And Enmore is the perfect venue. I love Enmore as a venue.
Enmore is a perfect venue. Good sight lines from everywhere. It's like you're in a beautiful theater, but it's not huge. But yeah, that's what the deal is there. Let me just jump over to the Instas. Everyone's cool there. Everyone's happy. All right, we're going to wrap because we've got to go do stuff. Jason says Clinton Maynard. That's what I wanted to know. Did he invite you in? Yes, he did invite me in. He did. He definitely did. He and I, we talk a lot about music, but I don't think he, for some reason, knew that I was a massive Counting Crows fan. And he was, Clinton was a gentleman. And in all honesty, I just couldn't be there. Otherwise, I would have been. And just Kenny says, how long could you last on a run after a bank robbery? Well, I can't run, so I'm out. I'm caught.
I'd last
I'm
about
caught
100
by the
meters.
police. I'd be one of those ones doing it, and then I'd be citizen arrest. Someone would be a citizen arrest on me, and I'd just be the embarrassment that I am.
Down and out.
But you can run. You can run pretty far.
100 meters, outrun anyone. Over that, getting caught.
I wouldn't be out of breath. I just wouldn't. I haven't got the knees or the legs, so I'd just be like, I'd be running, but not moving. You know, that's who I am. But maybe I like Kyler Murray, throw you a Hail Mary with the money, and you get the money and run off.
That's a good idea. Now we're thinking.
See, no one's asked me about Kyler Murray today. No one. Everyone's in shock. Kyler Murray. Okay. Sharks lose 26-6. It's gotten a bit goofy toward the end. We've been on here for a while. We've given you almost 2 hours, so that's pretty good. Disappointing night in all seriousness, and it's up to the club to be better, you know. And we've seen them get better. I don't think it was disaster. It was just unfortunate timing, and they got to be better. It's up to them. Like, I don't think Penrith really. The more I think about it, I don't think Penrith necessarily did anything amazing to us aside from the big kick. It's going to be interesting to see how they protect the 40-20s better, because it's hard. Because if it's a third tackle and Katoa's back on his 20, well, they're just going to go left. So,
yeah,
it's a tough one. They got to get better at it, though, especially against Penrith. Like if they're going to win a grand final against Penrith, they're going to have to protect the 40-20 or protect their line once they get the 40-20. So, but yeah, disappointing night. We're not sugarcoating that. We've had a bit of fun towards the end. We're allowed to have fun, I think. Gary, good luck with your meeting with Sherry and with Gus tomorrow morning.
Thank you.
And
interesting to see what comes of that, actually.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be. I'm sure it will be, but it has nothing to do with the Cronulla Sharks.
It does not.
We'll talk to everyone real soon. We'll talk to you next week, which will be fun. Until then, have a great, safe time. And sorry about tonight. It's just one of those nights. I don't know why I'm apologizing. I didn't miss any tackles. Up, Cronulla. We still love them. We're still going to go get it. Don't worry. We'll go get it. We'll work out how to do it, and we'll go get it. Up. Let's go. See you guys.